What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. Today I just kind of wanted to do a little update video on my 1911 collection. I did that video a while back, and some things have changed on some of the guns, some of the 1911s I have, and I actually have a new addition to show. So I guess I'll just get right into it. And this is my Ruger 1911 right here. What's different about it is I had these grips kind of just laying around, and I wanted to try them out on the Ruger. I really don't like the stock grips that come on here. They're not very grippy. They're super thin, which is good if you're gonna, like, I guess, carry in a holster or something like that. But for me, for a full-size 1911, I really like it as a range gun. Excuse me, a range gun. So I put on these grips. They're like the diamond kind. These are kind of like an old school style. These used to be really popular way back when. But I put them on there, and I really like how they shoot. The gun's more tactile. It's easier to hold. I don't know. For me, I kind of like the aggressiveness of these. The other ones were kind of smooth, and if your hands got sweaty after shooting a lot, it would kind of slip around your hand. This doesn't happen with these grips. I really like them. They're really old school, and but yeah, that's some of the changes I've done on this one. So there's that. Let's see here. The Kimber. This is my Tactical Entry 2. Of course, it has the Warrior grips on it. Not a lot has changed on this. I did notice with these Warrior grips, they tend to come loose quite a bit after shooting. So what I did was I just went ahead and I threw on some Loctite onto these screws, just so they'll stay in place. If you really shoot this gun a lot, they'll start coming loose, and it kind of becomes a pain because you gotta, you can feel it while you're shooting. You can feel the grip actually moving around, and and it shouldn't be. So I just put some Loctite on there to hold them in there. After that, I haven't had any issues. Keeps firing away. I really love this 1911. It's one of my favorite ones. It's a Series 80s 1911, so a lot of people hate on Series 80s because they have the firing pin safety, and there's just some extra parts involved in it. It's not a huge deal for me. I can't really notice it a whole bunch, but you can find that like all your serious high-end 1911s will have a Series 70 slide, which doesn't have that firing pin safety. That's kind of what's part of Kimber's downfall. A lot of people will say is they went to the Series 80s and they got real big, and just their quality control started going downhill. So if you're gonna buy a brand new 1911 and you're looking at Kimber's, I would really do your research to find out if that gun's really gonna be that reliable for you. I haven't had any issues with this 1911. This is an older style Kimber. It is a Series 80s, but it is an older Kimber, back whenever Kimber used to be Kimber. I haven't had any issues with this 1911. It's been 100% reliable. I mean, I freaking have thrown this thing in creeks and dropped it in mud and crap, and it still shoots, like brand new out of box. It just comes with the 1911. You really got to take care of them. So every time I go and shoot this gun, that night I'll clean it, and I don't mind cleaning my firearm. A lot of people don't like to do it, but it really helps the gun, and it takes care of stuff. I mean, if you're gonna spend money on a gun like this, I mean, you should really take care of your gun. Even if you have like a $200 gun, you should still take care of it. But this is the Tactical Entry 2, like I showed before. Of course, it has a checkering here on the front, skeletonized trigger, skeletonized hammer. I did throw on this extended slide stop right here just to help with racking the gun. So you can just do it. You don't have to like whip the whole gun around to open it. You can kind of just flip that up. It does have a full-length guide rod. That's something you'll find on kind of, I don't know, higher end 1911s. A lot of people say it doesn't do anything. It's it's easier, or it's harder to take the gun apart and stuff. For me, it's not a big deal. It adds a little bit more weight to the gun. I kind of like that. Just so the recoil is more manageable. But I mean, in the 1911, the recoil is nothing for a 45. And a lot of people say, like, with an extended guide rod, it makes the gun harder to take apart. I mean, yes, if you get the extended guide rods where you have to have an Allen wrench to like unscrew them, yeah, that can be more difficult to take apart. But with these, like, you can take it apart just like any other 1911. You don't like they give you a bushing wrench, but honestly, you don't even need that. You could use your finger to do it just like a regular 1911. So I really don't get what people are saying whenever they say, "Oh, it makes the gun so much harder to take apart." I mean, those are probably people who don't have a 1911. They don't have one like this where you can just literally take it apart like any other 1911. So probably don't know what they're talking about. But really like this 1911. It's super accurate. Like I said before, super reliable. Comes with night sights. So if you're looking, I don't know if they have like, this was part of their tactical entry line. I don't know if they have that line anymore. It's been a while since I've looked at Kimber's, but it's kind of their older style line, I guess. So if you find one of the tactical entry models, I would, seriously look at, taking a look at that and thinking about purchasing it. I really like it. The reason, or the way you can tell them apart from other 1911 or from other Kimber brands, is they'll have serrations here on the front of the slide, and they'll also have a beveled magazine weld. That's usually how you can tell the tactical entry models from the rest of Kimber's models. And I believe they make this, they have the full size one like this one, and they have a commander size, and then they have an officer size as well. And all of those sizes come with the beveled magazine weld and night sights, and the commander hammer and extended beaver tail, and the checkering on the front. All of them also have checkering. So if you can find those, they're actually they're a little bit cheaper than some of the higher end models that Kimber are putting out, but you're still getting the same features basically. It doesn't have like the fish scale serrations or anything like that, but I mean, you're still getting front serration, you still get the back, and you're still getting the checkering and stuff. So I would suggest looking into the tactical entry line that Kimber offers. They're great guns. I haven't had any issues with this one. And so yeah, there is the Kimber. This one, of course, I have a lot of videos on this one. This is C107, my Colt 1911 from 1912. It was refinished back in the 70s, but this is the 107th commercial 1911 ever made. If you want to find out more information, I'm not going to do too much in this video, but I'll throw some links down in the description so you can see my older videos on this if you really want some detailed information on the history about this gun and some other things that just some other information I've learned about it. You can go and check them out. It's a super cool gun. It still shoots. It's like shooting butter, I guess. I mean, it's so smooth. But there's C107. And then, okay, now we're getting into like the big update part of my 1911 collection. So if you saw my last collection video, this is that Cimarron 1911. And if you saw the last video, you could tell that the gun was like really beat up. It had some really bad holster wear and some scratching on the slide and on the frame. So I took it and got it Cerakoted. And Cimarron did the 1911 where it's kind of a mixture between the World War I 1911 and the World War II 1911. So I kind of went all out on this Cerakote, and I did like a Fury themed 1911. I don't know, this was just a project gun for me. It's really just a fun range gun. So I wanted to make something unique out of something that's really not that unique. A Cimarron 1911, it's a $500 Rock Island, basically. So I took this and I got it Cerakoted. I had some World War II 1911 grips just laying around. So I threw them on this gun. I thought it was fitting for a Fury 1911. But of course it has Fury right here, and then the star like on a Sherman tank. If you've seen the movie Fury, you kind of understand. And then it's got a star there, and then this side of the slide is just blank because some of the patents and stuff for Cimarron are right there, and I didn't want to cover those up. I wish I did. I don't know why I wanted to keep them, but anyway. So of course the World War I style, it has the lanyard loop and the flat mainspring housing, and then there's no cuts right here near the trigger. Has A1 style sights. A1 style hammer, A1 style beaver tail. I think the trigger is A1 style. Slide's been cut, so a little bit better ejection. So yeah, it's done in a Highlander green, and then it has just the regular white Cerakote on there. If you have a gun that's pretty beat up, I would strongly suggest getting it Cerakoted instead of going and getting it re-blued. Cerakote's going to be a little bit more cheaper. You could Parkerize it, which would be way cheaper than Cerakote or getting it re-blued. But to me, this gun came Parkerized and it just looked like shit. Parkerization is just like a really cheap way to protect the gun. If you want to make it a little bit different, a little bit nicer, you can just get it Cerakoted. Cerakote, I mean, there's videos out there, you know, it's very durable and it lasts a long time. So that's kind of what I did on this one. I wanted to cover up the old blemishes that it had and, you know, just do kind of a cool kind of theme 1911, something different. You know, I've never seen anything like this, so that's kind of why I did it. So that's the Cimarron, the Fury 1911. And then let's see, this is this is one of my brand new 1911s. It doesn't look very new, but this is kind of a Frankenstein 1911, if you could say that. So basically what it is, it's a Colt National Match slide on a super old school Para Ordnance double stack 1911 frame. So I found this gun and I thought it was really cool. I liked how it had a Colt National Match slide and then an old school Para frame. So the old school Paras, that's like when Para was at their prime, whenever they started making 1911s. And what was really cool about that is they were doing double stack 1911s. So I believe this one, I think it's a 13+1. So you have a total of 14 rounds of 45 in a 1911, which is freaking awesome. I love shooting this gun. It's got the like target sights up front right here. That's part of the national match that Colt does on these style of slides. Let's see what else. It has an A1 style mainspring housing here on the back. It's not a big deal to me. I'm used to shooting the flat mainspring housings, but it doesn't bother me too much. It's not really a big deal, the difference as far as I can tell. But it's got a Commander hammer. The trigger is kind of the shorter style of trigger. Not a big deal either. I don't mind shooting it. It's got a super sweet trigger. There's a whole bunch of internal stuff that's been done to this gun. I bought it used, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. Whenever I went out and shot it, I mean, this gun is super smooth and it's really fun to shoot. A 1911 that has 13 rounds of 45. It's a great gun. I like shooting it. It has been shot a ton, but the bore is still really good. It still shoots true. Didn't have any issues. It's got an extended safety on it, which is nice. The grip, you know, it's definitely thicker than our original 1911, but you know, I wouldn't say it's much thicker than like a Glock 21 or anything like that. I mean, you can't really tell a huge difference whenever you're shooting it, but I really like it. I never have owned a Frankenstein 1911, so this is kind of something new for me and something that's really cool. I actually like shooting it a lot. So there's that, and I'll probably get this Cerakoted too. As you can tell, it's got a ton of holster wear right up here, and some scratches and stuff. But it's an old school Para. The box that it came in, it still had French written on it, you know, from the old Canada days and stuff. So that was cool. And then this is the SIG 1911. It's the Commander sized Nightmare model, of course, with the bobtailing at the end, and then it's got their nitrate coating, comes with night sights, Commander hammer, Commander trigger. This is a little bit extended, the slide stop, and then you have just a non-ambidextrous safety, but the safety is extended a little bit. It's not just like your regular, I don't know, off the shelf 1911 safety. It's got a speed bump here on the end of the beaver tail, so that just helps with gripping the pistol. And it does have checkering right up front, right up back, bobtailing of course. The extractor here is an external extractor, something aesthetically I don't like, but you know, people say they're easier to tune or easier to replace, so there's that. This gun is super reliable. It shoots pretty good. It's not the most accurate 1911 I have. The trigger is kind of heavy on it. It's a little bit thick compared to a Colt 1911. But, you know, it still runs good. And, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Of course, has a regular barrel bushing, so it doesn't have a bowled barrel, so you take it apart just like any other 1911. The accents are all in stainless steel, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this gun runs good, runs hollow points, runs crappy steel ammo, runs reloads, runs regular ball FMJ. I haven't had any issues with it, and yeah, I really like this 1911. I'm not a huge fan of SIG when it comes to their 1911s, but for what you get for that kind of 1911, I really like it. So that comes to the end of this video. I just kind of want to do a quick update video on some of the 1911s that I have and some of the updates I've done to them, and the new 1911 that I've got. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you stay tuned for more. Thank you.